for fun to put it on YouTube or something.
NPR or not NPR?
Mm-hmm. That sounds so real.
Make it a game show.
What are we talking about, Russ?
We are here to talk about The Walking Dead, Season 10, Episode 22, finally the finale of Season 10. Here's Negan. Finally, we get the Negan origin story we always wanted and never got.
Yeah.
Whether we wanted it or not.
It's been a while, too, because I realized
Sure.
because we have knowledge about him just based off, comic stuff, but also, him just talking about Lucille. But
Yeah.
now we got, the full beard.
Yes.
So, these backstories.
Before we get rolling, we got a little bit of news. We got some dates, some details, some good stuff on Season 11.
Yes.
So it's going to be 3 8-episode arcs?
It's beginning well, Russ. I'm glad you asked.
I did ask.
It will be debuting, thanks to a teaser trailer we got yesterday as we record this. On August 22nd will be the debut. It will be in 8-episode blocks. The first episode, 8-episode block begins August 22nd, and the others have yet to be determined. But it will be a total of 24 episodes in the final mega season, as they're calling it.
Okay, so I said this before. We talked about this before. Summer can be a lot of things. And yeah, so it's going to be late summer when it's going to pick back up again. So, as I speculated before we started recording, it'll be August to mid-October. Take that break as you normally get and come back in February. And then that's that's 8 episodes. So that's until now, we are now. So beginning of April. So then you get the last batch either that August again, or maybe even sooner, June or July,
or October. Maybe they go back to the October timeframe.
Just all the way. I guess you could build up a lot of anticipation that way if you left it that long.
Yeah. What I'm curious about is because August takes us to almost 16 weeks straight between now and then. So does that mean we're getting Fear as 16 straight, or are we going to get Fear as 8 and then a break and then we'll get the main show and then we'll get the latter half of Fear?
Fear was renewed, right?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So next week, right? Next week starts the last 9 episodes of Fear.
If they want to make it a whole 16, then yeah.
Okay,
I'm not sure if they're doing if we're going to get 9 or we're going to get 8.
Well, regardless, it starts next week and we get 8 or 9 weeks. So then when does the next season of Fear start? Let's see if it goes. We have to film first. I'm not sure it's filming. Right? So
I think it's filming because I'm pretty sure it's filming right now.
Okay, so earliest would have to be somewhere. Would you think it would go concurrent with Walking Dead? You think they try to go over that again?
I don't.
And World Beyond.
The back half of season 6 is April 11th, and then they haven't announced the next part of that. So that's all we know so far.
Yeah. So if they do 8, that takes us through May 30th for Fear. If they do 9 to make it a whole 16, then that takes us to June 6th. And then I'm assuming that's going to be the break, and then we won't get anything until August. So that leaves July and August. Because World Beyond, I'm assuming is not. I think
they're filming. They said that a few weeks ago.
So it's nowhere near ready. So I guess we'll have the heat of the summer off.
But World Beyond filming and Fear is maybe just started, so it's further along than the next season of Fear is.
Yeah. So I'm guessing maybe we get season 11A, and then we get maybe World Beyond, the second and last season of World Beyond, and then maybe we get Fear part A.
I would expect World Beyond to be with the fall set of Walking Dead, just because it would give it a boost in the ratings. Whereas I don't think we get Fear again until next year. I would be surprised by this. I think World Beyond could use the push from having Walking Dead next to it, and then Fear would just come back next year.
But then it would have to be. So we're thinking World Beyond in February when the.
No, I say World Beyond. I'm thinking it would come in around August or September with Walking Dead.
Ready by then?
If it's already filmed, yeah.
Yeah, I guess so because then they do week to week, so they've got time to finish them up. So
and it's past the early stage. We're in a zone where they can film these things now and make it, so.
Yeah, I could definitely see World Beyond.
But I see that coming before Fear for sure.
For sure. But I could see where it would make sense to double up with World Beyond.
Yeah. Oh, that's it. Yeah, if you want to just be straight up like that.
Just kind of have it be a Sunday night twofer. Anyway, interesting times. Things are winding down. It'll be interesting. And so.
Well, it's winding down, but it's not like we're going to be, lacking any content,
For sure. Yeah,
we haven't even talked about the Carol Daryl spinoff at all.
Yeah, to
or
me,
the movies, for that matter. So.
Yeah. To me, the whole concept of the show is ending. It doesn't really.
Yeah, it's ending eventually.
Yeah, it doesn't. I guess what I'm getting at is it doesn't weigh on me like other like when other shows stop, when Lost was ending, when Battlestar was ending, when Game of Thrones, for better or worse, was ending. There's finality to it, right?
There's always that thing. Some series end too soon. Some series nail it and right at the right spot, and then some just overstay their welcome, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully, for some people, Walking Dead has overstayed its welcome, but for a lot of people, it hasn't. It's still a very popular show. So
yeah, when you look at most shows, don't have a swing in the major cast like the show has had. When you look at the main cast in season 11 versus the main cast in season 1, it's like there's two names that are the same. And heck, for even season 4 to season 11, there's most shows don't have the swing that this one does, which I think helps keep it. We talked about this before. But helps keep it a little fresher than it would normally be if it was just like Smallville season 10 or whatever, where it's basically the same characters.
X-Files last few seasons.
Yeah. A couple people float in, a couple people float out, kind of thing. But yeah, so again, and with the Carol and Daryl spinoff, to me that just says more. We're just getting more of the show that we're used to getting because they're kind of the heart of the show. I would think at this point for the most part. So.
Yeah, Russ, did we not talk about this last week? This news that you posted on the Walking Dead Facebook page. This other news about this digital short series that they're going to make.
Oh, we did not talk about that.
We did talk about this.
We did not.
Oh my God.
We're living Moss again.
We're going to live Moss. We're going to live Moss under the sea. We're going aquatic. They're going to do a submarine. This sounds amazing. I can't believe you're talking about this.
Wow.
They're going to make a submarine that's a nuclear sub filled with walkers. That sounds amazing.
The nuclear vessel full of walkers.
If you can't hear my excitement, yes, Rusty posted this article on here. They're going to make a digital series, not unlike the plane one or the tunnel one or the other ones.
Hatchet wasn't one?
Hatchet, yeah. That was a good one.
That was a good one.
The tunnel one won an Emmy. So, it's got that going for it. But what is it? This one's, I assume it'll probably still be like these little short story, a minute to 5 minutes or whatever it is.
Yeah, well, they're digital, so yeah, but I think they'll be longer than the Live Moss. Yeah, yes.
But yeah, no, I got really excited last night. I think because we recorded late, so I just forgot that we had it on the page. But yeah,
yeah.
It's going to tie into the next season of Fear, right? Or it's a season 6. What are we in? Season 6?
Yeah.
So this current season?
Yes.
Oh, so we're going to get soon. It's coming.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
This just jazzed me up even more.
It's not the movies. It's not the spin-offs. It's the digital first series that gets Aaron's
Wow.
juices flowing.
Yeah, if you told me the Rick Grimes movies were to have 5-minute breaks where we can just watch a digital series in between scenes of the movie, I'd be even more on board for Rick Grimes the movie experience.
Yes. Yeah, totally. Yeah, good catch. Because I posted that up and then completely forgot about it. But yeah, so something else to look forward to. So we'll have some new some new recap interludes that we can pop in. All right. So I think that's all the news, right? Like main show in August, 3 parts, 8 episodes each. Fear coming back. All right. So
Invincible is still incredible.
Invisible's so good. Yeah.
Yep. I wrote like 1,000 words on it, but yep, that's my answer for that right now.
Yeah. The only bummer about Invincible is there's only 2 episodes left. That's the
Really?
bummer.
8 episodes.
It's 8
Oh, is it
episodes,
8?
not
Hey, you
6.
got 4 episodes left.
Oh,
Don't
man.
do that to me, Russ.
Oh yeah.
It's my favorite superhero thing so far this year. Don't blow it for me.
Nice. Yes. No, that makes me. You made my evening. All right. So let's get into it. Here's Negan.
It's quick.
Here's Negan.
Negan.
Quick pro quo, Russ. You gave me submarines, I gave you more Invincible episodes.
Yes. What more could you ask?
We
for?
all benefit.
Yes. As well as you, listener. All right. So this episode starts with Maggie walking with Herschel, and what does she tell him? Like every day you should walk the property. And
Well, she says that his grandfather used to get up every morning and look at and kind of get a feel for the day. The one he's named after,
yes.
And then he says something to the effect of, "Oh, it's the beginning of the day always this early." So,
See, I like this Herschel.
yeah, Herschel's cool. I like
Hey,
it.
Judith.
Wow. The Judith hate continues.
Damn.
I'm just saying. I mean, Herschel's like a cool Jim, and Judith's like a Brad Milo.
Shut
There it is. There it is,
Wait,
folks.
Herschel's like a cool Jim.
Yeah, you.
I know me, but I'm just trying to figure that one out.
Wow.
I like you. That's what.
Thanks. I'm glad I haven't lost a leg yet.
Just saying.
Glad I'm not dead. Wow.
Jeez.
He means young Herschel. Young Herschel's like a cool.
Right, 'cause I'm 5 years old and Asian. Please
That's
continue.
All right, so they're going about their way, and they see Negan working. And just like every time Maggie comes across Negan, the mean mugging commences. And Negan, of course, is super uncomfortable,
Yeah.
which is a huge contrast between now and the end of the episode. So the whole time they've come in contact, or really almost when Negan's come in contact with anybody, he's been pretty uncomfortable and definitely feeling that he's on the outs.
Almost like shame. You almost have a look of shame.
Gee, it's almost like he did something to piss everybody off.
I
Yeah,
know.
yeah. It sounds like he's a
Yeah.
terrible piece of crap.
Yeah.
I like to think that whenever Maggie sees him, it's like Kill Bill with Uma Thurman, where they just gets the music playing like the 70s films, set up the revenge music.
I just want her to say F off every now and again when she says
Yeah.
it. Just once. Twice.
So Negan and Carol are out hunting, and what he refers to himself as Lalo Negan.
Right.
Yeah, Lilo Negan.
Yeah, and he's asked Carol if he could maybe put in a word and kind of talk about what he's done and everything else. And Carol's like, yeah, that's
But you hear the look at the flowers music playing.
I know. When she
Back
takes
there.
him out to the shack, that's immediately what I was thinking. I'm like, oh, shit. She's going to make
So
me
that
look at the
house-
flowers.
yeah, that house they come across, was that the house that Carol was at
That's
when she was on the
yeah,
outs?
That's
Yeah.
the shack that,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
same shack.
That's the shame house.
Yes. So she takes him in, has this rabbit, and all his stuff is there.
Wait, I'm sorry. Which house do you think it is?
It's Carol's.
Remember when Carol
Gee.
left?
I thought it was the same house where Daryl was.
It's the house where Daryl was.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's what I
okay,
thought.
okay.
Where his lady friend was.
Oh, okay.
Right.
That's
Okay, it didn't-
that's how they know the house.
No.
Okay, that makes sense, but it didn't. Yeah, I guess the other house was closer to the kingdom, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that was that's a hike.
Yeah,
they got
okay.
there like in a day.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. That makes more. It just didn't. I'll have to go back and look at it. It didn't look like the same house from that episode, but that totally makes sense.
I mean, this is Atlanta. I'm sure it's the same house in a lot of places.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm sure it's the same house where they found that one crazy guy that didn't know there was apocalypse and they killed him right away for like season 2 or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that guy?
Remember that?
Remember that
And
guy?
then I cut to like a fried chicken commercial. Remember that? Remember those days?
Remember.
That was the best.
Yeah, crispy.
But anyway, Negan stuff is there, and Carol was like, "Well, I thought it'd be easier if your stuff's here," and she says that he's been banished.
Right.
And then Negan even questions whether he's banished.
council.
It's like, was I actually banished,
Is
or
this a council thing or a Carol decided on her own kind of thing?
yeah.
That's a fun question, especially because he knows he's right. That's the best.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure does.
And she doesn't really answer him, and so she of course leaves him to it and gives him the rabbit so he has some food. And
That's right. You get a whole rabbit so.
Here you go.
Yeah.
Here's your rabbit. Here's your shack.
Here's your
Have a good
rabbit.
life.
Tricks are for kids.
Happy Easter.
That's
Yes.
right.
So
He's on Easter.
yes, so he makes a fire. He's having a drink by the fire, and then he starts to see his prime self.
Don't we all do that?
Sure, yeah. I constantly see versions of myself in an alcohol case. And
This is how you get around COVID.
yeah,
know it.
exactly.
Oh,
Exactly.
you know
That's
it.
what I thought. I thought like, oh, what a great idea. You don't think it's supposed to know actor. Just Jeffrey Dean Morgan talking to himself. Great idea.
And then film with your wife.
I've had that night.
Who's in your bubble as well. So yeah, they start the kind of banter back and forth, and then not really kind of a flashback. We get the flashback to the big face off between him and Rick at the tree with the.
Real quick, Russ. This episode features a quadruple flashback.
Sure did.
Oh yeah, trust me, I'm getting there. Yeah, yeah, I'm getting there. But he goes to the tree. Oh, because he doesn't. Part of the flashback is he asks about Lucille, and even Michonne's like, I don't know, we left it there or whatever. And then we cut to Negan, who is out there digging holes. Maybe he should have had Shia LaBeouf come out there and help him dig holes. Lots of holes.
And
Well, there's a time reference.
Yes.
Like, which Republican that's right, John Boyd. Okay.
John Voight. So yeah, he's out there digging holes, and then he finds Lucille, and then we get the first of the. So this is the real nitpick I have with this episode. And I get why they had to do it because they were revealing things, but it's the flashback within a flashback within a flashback thing that just drives me nuts.
Yeah.
So it starts with
Like last week we got the comedy. This week we got like Walking Dead goes Inception.
Yeah, it was like,
Yes.
deeper and deeper.
it was like a Matrushka doll of flashbacks.
yes. But the main portion of this flashback is 12 years earlier, and it's definitely a younger Negan without much of the gray, and he's in a chair. A bunch of bikers have him.
Alex
He's tied up.
Vipers.
What?
Alex Vipers. I wrote it down.
Yes. And he's carrying some cancer meds in a cooler. And because they see the cancer meds, they want to find out where there's more. And apparently he told them where he got his medicine. These guys went out there, and they knew he was lying because apparently the whole place was completely overgrown. Like they couldn't even get to where the place he said. So they said he was lying, and they're like, okay, you have one more opportunity to tell us the truth, or we're going to kill you. And so then we get the next portion of the flashback, which is 2 to 3 days ago, where he comes across the camper and he goes to get the meds, and he has a gun, and he points it at him, and then somebody comes up from behind him and whacks him in the head with a baseball bat. Now, wasn't that part of his crew?
Yeah, Laura.
Okay, yeah. She had the
Saviors,
Beta swashed her head against the wall.
yeah. Did she have like a tattoo on her face or something?
I don't know.
I don't know.
You get some origins.
You know, Ross, I
Yeah.
barely remembered yesterday. You're asking a lot of questions.
And I was like, yeah. So I thought that was
She has
kind
like
of
a tattoo on her neck.
Yes, that's what it was.
Yeah, so that could be a pre-Savior thing. I didn't notice it. I don't care. But as we do this fan devoted podcast of The Walking Dead. But they set up like, oh, look at that. That's the person. That's one of his like lieutenants in the Saviors later on.
Which is interesting that she's been around with him that long. I mean, that's one of the things. She was the first, essentially his first follower, if you will, and was with him for quite some time. So he wakes up, he's handcuffed to the chair, and he tells the guy that's the doctor, I'm assuming is that he was a high school gym teacher. So again, we're getting a little bit more about Negan. And then he explains to this guy what he's doing, and then we cut to 6 months earlier or 6 weeks earlier. And he's with his wife, who is clearly dying of cancer.
The thing that struck me about this version of Negan, okay, he's like fired from his job for like fighting with somebody, right? He's like hanging out playing video games, like sponging off his wife who's dying of cancer, and he's cheating on her. Like,
He didn't know about the cancer yet.
No,
right, but I'm just saying it's kind of I didn't realize it would be like I didn't realize he'd be that much of a low life in the pre.
Well, he did make a point. I do remember in my idle brain, he did make a couple of comments that how he didn't even deserve Lucille.
Oh right, yeah.
Remember early on he did that?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. I just think it's like, yeah, Negan's not great. Like,
It's not like I idolized him or anything, but I didn't realize he was like yelling at teenagers playing Fortnite and shit.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he was Thor in Endgame. Okay.
Yeah. But this part of the flashback is the majority of him and his wife, right? Like we're seeing how he's caring for her, and they're in this place, and they have a generator to keep the TV going. She apparently is into James Bond. That plus one for Lucille. But they keep the fridge on, the generator on, and they're kind of insulating it. There's like a bunch of blankets and stuff around to keep the sound down. And whenever there's too many walkers that come up, he'll take the medicine, put it in the freezer with some ice, and then go shut the generator off until they kind of go away. And then of course he goes out there to kill one of them. And this version of Negan is not the killing machine that we came to know when we first met him on the show. And I thought that was kind of amusing. Like he stabs the walker in the eye with the knife, and it doesn't die. And he's like, "Come on, man!" Like, he didn't stab it quite deep enough to get into the brain.
I was waiting for him to like just in a gory way. I was waiting for him to just like pull the thing to the wall behind him, so the knife would just like burst through his head. But they got something cooler, so no complaints.
Yeah. So his wife comes out and shoots the walker to get it off to save his bacon.
She shoots him while she's like holding her chemo machine next to her, rocking her green wig. It's like a comic book cover. Watching the scene.
Yeah, she's doing her treatment and with the colored wig, and that was their last bullet apparently. Yeah. And so Negan goes, and then we see him. He's out looking for more gas, searching the cars, and apparently he found somebody's stash in the car, and brings it back to her and to help her with her nausea. It's a little dried out, but it'll help her with her nausea. And she tries to convince him that they need people, like that they should go try and be around people, and he disagrees.
She read from the book of Carl apparently.
Yeah.
The book of Carl, verse 4, chapter 12.
12. Yeah. So the next morning he wakes up, and apparently the generator had stopped. The fridge got warmed up. Negan opens up the freezer part, water pours out. He checks the temperature, and the chemo got too warm, so it can't be used. And so he wants to go look for
doctors that are around.
That came one of some that came by, and he wants to go to go look for him. And she kind of tries to talk him out of it. That no, he should stay.
We should say that all these, because this is like the bulk of this is all Jeffrey Morgan and his wife Hillary Bird Morgan. They're very good.
Yes.
And that's not so much about the chemistry. Like I would assume the chemistry is good because they're married. But
I hope so.
Yeah, but there are instances where even when you try to put real life couples together, they're not the best.
Oh my god, great example is the Supergirl CW series.
That's what
yes.
Well, yeah, Supergirl is married to the guy who plays Mon-El, and they have no chemistry at all. But they've been married for years.
Yeah.
When then she was married to the guy that they brought on the show because they were married, that turned out to be an abusive piece of shit. But
well, that from easy for a bit. Yeah, I do think that beyond just their whatever real life chemistry might be, it's paying off here as far as just the quality of acting in these scenes. I do think for a show, we talked about this a lot as far as how you manage doing a show, you have to have less people involved, and so for these like 2-person scenes, they're very effective. They do the job.
Yeah. But she tries to convince him not to go, and she's like, that's what he says, like, I don't know how you stuck with me, I didn't deserve you. And she says, look, she goes, she says you may change your mind, and I have something to tell you. And then we get a further flashback back to 7 months earlier. So now we're at like almost, exactly. We're at almost 13 years from the present. And so this is before the fall, right?
Right.
And so this is when we get, like Jim was saying, this is Negan in the basement playing Call of Duty,
Yelling at teenagers. Yeah.
yelling at teenagers.
I'm sorry, I said that. It just astonished me that here's Negan, this ultimate villain, hero badass, and here he is getting chumped by 12-year-olds in Fortnite. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
And I guess part of the point of this is like that's where he got his shit talking from, right?
Right,
like that's that's what we're led to believe is like between teaching teenagers, in gym and trying to pwn teenagers on Call of Duty, like that's where he got kind of his banter and his wit kind of is what I got out of that. So apparently he ordered some expensive jacket online, and his wife at this point, I would say their marriage is probably strained at this point. I mean, clearly he's gotten into trouble, he lost his job, he's had other problems that we don't know the specifics of them, but he was fired for assault, and
she's paying the bills for the assault.
And she's taking care of everything. So she apparently has an MRI doctor's appointment, and he's like, oh, I can't go today. He's like, I got an appointment with my parole officer, and he's like, these things, you go and you get all worked up, and then you go and you sit there, for 2 hours with your ass hanging out, and then they tell you everything's fine. And so of course that's not how this plays out. And the doctor gives her the results, and she has cancer. And she goes back to the car to call him. Because the doctor's like, oh, I hope you have somebody to drive you home. And she's like, oh, yeah. So she calls him, he doesn't answer. So she calls her best friend, who she talked to on the phone earlier, and she doesn't answer either. And then she calls the parole officer, and the parole officer's like, no, I don't have him on my schedule for 2 more weeks. And then she starts looking at her phone, and it's like Negan, and I forget the friend's name, but just flipping back and forth, and like then she gets it, right? Like he's not only is he kind of this terrible person at home and doesn't have his stuff together, but he's also cheating on her. And he comes home, and she's sitting there, and she literally has a gun next to her, and
That was extreme.
a little bit.
It's just like, I understand that domestic life can lead to a lot of emotions that aren't always understandable, but at the same time, like, did we really get the painting of this person as someone that would like have a gun ready to solve her problems? I don't know. But...
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah. So she slaps on the papers and that she got from the doctor and says that she has cancer. And then we cut back, and he didn't and he's in tears, and he's like, look, after you were diagnosed, I never saw her again. Like that, for better or worse, that was like a turning point for him. Like at that point, he became. And meanwhile, when she gets in the car after the doctor and turns on the radio, they talk about
People are eating each other.
People are eating each other. The outbreak is happening, and she just wants to hear music and drive on it.
So if we need a timestamp on when the zombie apocalypse started, it's 12 years and 6 months ago.
Yes. So this lines up with episode 1 of Fear.
Pretty much, yeah.
Right. And so for better or worse, or whether it matters or not, but like this was a turning point for him. Like he stopped being kind of an idiot, jackass, and he truly, took care of her and was doing what he needed to do. And clearly, I mean, he's going trying to find all his medicine. He's got a schedule. He's doing everything he can to get her past her treatments and stuff to do it. And so then we go forward again, and we're at the point where Negan is back with the doctor. And after relaying the story to the doctor gives him his medicine and lets him go on his way, and gives him the bat. So he has the bat.
What a good group.
Yeah.
Medicine came at that, sent him on his way.
Yeah. So then now we're back to where we started. And the whole time he's working the screw, right? Like there's a screw loose in the bottom of the chair that he's working.
That's a good intention, given that it doesn't pay off in the way that you expect.
Yes. Yeah, I thought that was really clever, because at first I was like, well, wait a minute, he gets like what like.
Well, he's doing it, and it's just not working. That's why he's telling all this story, right? So
he's buying himself time,
but he doesn't get it. Like he doesn't get time. He's at the point where he's gonna get shot in the face. He's like, no, that didn't work.
Yeah. So he's basically been telling the story all the time, and then the biker dude gets pissed at him because he's like, look, I've been listening to this whole stupid story all this time, like what the hell?
So that kind of like not that it's bad. Bad. It like saves it for me as far as how I'm appreciating the fact that we had all of these flashbacks, because
Yes.
I couldn't stop laughing once it did, because I wrote double flashback, and then not too long after I wrote triple flashback.
Yes.
And like wait a beat, and then it's quadruple flashback. You're within stories here, and I like that. And so it just humors me that like these biker guys are listening to me and be like, okay, now hold on, 12 months before this,
Before that, this happened.
like he's telling this layered novel like story from
Yeah.
these guys for hours.
Yeah. And then I get to the point where my wife lays this on me, and then she tells me this story. So remember back when all this stuff first started? Like this was like 7 months before that. This is the shit that happened next.
It's like they're cut to like Peter Falk and Fred Savage.
Exactly. I guess if they wanted to go off beat, it would
Hashtag part.
would have been funny, I guess, if they wanted to be somewhat irreverent and have them constantly cut back to the biker crew, either listening intently to him telling this crazy ass story, or really getting annoyed with like, where are you going with this, man? But anyway, so it made me slightly less annoyed that they told the story this way, because
I think we're on the same page, Russ, as far as the use of the narrative structure this week. It's like, all right.
yeah, because I'm kind of on record with not being a fan of this method. So then anyway, he realizes his time is up, so he points them to where the RV are, where the RV group is with the docs. They pick him up, they throw him in a supply room, and then boom, immediately it's like we cut back and they're letting him go. So clearly they kept
Another word.
They kept their word. He pointed him to the right place, and they let him go.
At first, I was trying to think, like, if it's going to be the what's that one group, the claimed group? They didn't have a name.
No, it's like
No,
It's just like
no.
the claimers.
The claimers.
Right?
We call them the claimers.
And then I'm like, well, it can't be them because he's going to kill these people, so never mind. But
Yeah,
at first
yeah.
I was trying to think, well, is it going to be those guys? No, it'd be too convenient for one thing, but also, yes, he has to murder these people, so it wouldn't make any sense to begin with.
Yeah.
I do like that this is very much like a Last Crusade type thing, as far as Indy gets all the things you know about him in the first 5 minutes of that movie. This is like everything you know about Negan you have. Like, it just happens to be within like a short period of time.
Yeah, I forgot to say that the house that they're in with the generator, like she finds the jacket, right? Like she gives him, it's like happy anniversary. Oh, it turns out I found this in the attic or something like that.
Yeah, it's like the jacket, the bat.
The bat. Yeah.
Like all these little details. It's very much like a Last Crusade thing.
Yes. So she lets him. They let him go. He gets on his bike, and he hears the woman in the van. Like there's a struggle. All this is going on, and he's like, look, I gotta get back to my wife. So he heads back home. Goes up to the room, and there's a written note on the door that says, please don't leave me like this. And you're like, oh geez, okay, this is bad. So he goes in the door, and she's obviously killed herself. She's laying in bed, zip tied around her neck. To the bedpost with a bag over her head, so she has
And there's like a bunch of pills next to it too. So
and pills, yeah. So she did herself in.
She's
Yeah, and Negan of course like has a hard time with this, and so he pulls the the bag off her head, and he can't bring himself to. At first I thought like, oh, he has the bat in his hand, he's gonna take care of it, and he doesn't. He ends up sitting beside the bed, and she's still she's zombified, and he goes out, finds a bunch of barbed wire, and starts wrapping the bat. Comes back in and burns the house down with her.
We skipped over that they played a song, of course. The song.
Oh yes,
You Are So Beautiful.
You Are So Beautiful.
Song,
Joe Cocker. Yes,
that Joe Cocker going, and all right.
Yeah,
it's a choice. I get what they're trying to do.
But I thought that was kind of clearly this is like Negan reborn, right? Like he literally comes out of the burning house, like with fire and smoke around him as he is reborn with the bat out of the house, and so now it's kind of like reborn the Negan of old to the extreme, and the Negan that we know, from when he first showed up on the show. So of course he goes back to where the bikers are, and the doc is this time the doc is in the chair, and the doc is able to figure out that the screw was mostly undone, and
he had a screw loose.
Yeah, he had a screw loose, and works himself free, and is able to kind of get free. And then, of course, there's a distraction, right? Because Negan's out there and kills one of the guys, and the doc's able to get free and then hit the lead biker, and then he puts the head biker in the chair, and then this is where we get like classic Negan, right? Like, he's like, oh, you're gonna hope I don't stop talking, because once I stop,
this is the best part of the episode for me.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like, I'm not the biggest Negan in full Negan mode fan, but because of the effort done to build up to this scene, yeah, okay, now I can buy this a lot, because it's not like he's trying to impress others. He's doing this purely for his own satisfaction. So there's a lot there that's pretty juicy.
Yeah, there's not the shtick, right? Like there's not the alliteration and over flowery language. This is him still being him, but yet at the same time,
He's
being
most like devilishly charismatic kind of way.
Yes, yes. But he talks about what happened with his assault. That he was in the bar and he wanted to play "You Are So Beautiful" for his wife, and this dude, with a voice, just kept talking over it. And so, she went and asked him to be quiet, and he, started getting up in her face, and so he had to go do something about it.
I like the detail. Yeah, I gave him $1, so he
I played it twice. Yes, yeah. He makes a point of he wanted his 50 cents back, right? Like this is like payback, like Parker payback, like Mel Gibson payback, right? Like, no, I want my 37,000.
Yeah, leave Martin point blank. Got it.
That too, yes.
Or the kid in Better Off Dead, I want my $2.
$2. My wife and I still to this day, whenever somebody says $2, we'll look at each other and go $2.
As does my wife. So.
Nice.
It's Chili Palmer and Get Shorty. You had a leather jacket. That's $179.
It's Terrence Stamp and Winding.
Yeah.
Yes.
Got one coming. We can do this.
We'll give you a jerk.
Yes.
Michael Caine, get Carter. Not so much for get Carter.
No. So he says he plays it twice, and anyway, they get in a big old fight, and he beats the crap out of him. Turns out that his kids went to the school where he taught at, so he got fired,
right.
And so then of course it happens, and then he ends up taking the bat and just kills the biker, and that's where. And then now we have left all of the flashbacks. We get back to the present day. This is immediately post digging up his bat. So the walker that was kind of off in the distance before all this business started is now closer. Negan walks up and whacks him in the head with the bat, and that's kind of like the end of Lucille. Like the bat is splintered. It's like in two big old pieces.
It's buried in the dirt for 5 years, right? Though.
Yes.
Been a minute.
Yeah.
The end of that.
So he takes it back to the house and kind of has this breakdown moment and apologizes, to his wife, and wraps the bat, throws it on the fire. And at this point, he decides he's going to go back to Alexandria, and he's like, well, should I go get something to go get my stuff and bring it back, or can he talks to Carol and says, you want to clear that up or whatever. And now we're not having the contrite, hunched over Negan. We got like confident Negan, right? Like he's very confident. And then he says something to Carol, and Carol says, well, she said she'll talk to Gabriel and see if he's okay with that. And that was she said, if you come back, she's going to kill you. And her whole purpose with this is she didn't want his death on her conscience, and so that's kind of where the purpose of getting him out of Alexandria, and that that Maggie will kill him. And so he just kind of confidently looks at her, walks by, and Maggie is just like looks at kill, and that's kind of where we end.
Well, I mean, Negan kind of gives like a half smile.
Yeah, he's
super
he kind of smirks a little bit. Like you say, Russ, at the beginning of the episode, he's still like contrite Negan, kind of looking at his shoes, not standing up straight. You know what I mean? And then by the end of this, he's Maggie's staring daggers at him, and he just is kind of giving her a cocky look back. So
what do you think he means with that?
So that's the exact question I was going to ask you guys. Mm-hmm. I am very torn. Part of me thinks this all came on the heels of this experience with his wife, right? Like this whole bit of him remembering his wife and what these people did to put him on a path because they essentially killed his wife. Like the fact that he couldn't get that medicine, get it back to her to prolong her life, maybe save her life, whatever the case may be, that it turned him into a completely broken man that led him down this path of violence and craziness and everything he did with the Saviors. And so part of me is like, he killed those people because of that, and that was the consequence. And what I'm not sure of is if he's purposely doing this to see if Maggie will kill him. Like basically, like I'm at the end. Like I'm back to I don't deserve to live. I don't deserve to be in this position, and so I'm just going to insert myself in this place where I force her to either kill me and that's it, or make peace with what was done, because this world is a hellhole. And I'm very torn as to what it is. I was curious what you guys thought.
I don't think he's that dour. I think it's more of his challenge to himself now is to get others to see that he is going to be in a different place. It's more like him. He got to that place as far as like the suicide, like wanting to die type moment. Like when there's that point where like Maggie confronted him a couple seasons ago, and it's exactly how the comic as far as where Negan was at his lowest versus what Maggie wanted to do to him. She resisted killing him at the time. I think the combination of things we've seen from Negan in the time since, as far as him dealing with the prison stuff, him being released from prison, him reluctantly killing that one guy that helped him get out of prison, kind of, but even though it was Carol, him being with Alpha, with all the Alpha stuff, talking with what's her face, Lydia, about it. Like I feel like we've gotten so much of this already as far as where Negan is and now like the culmination of burning the bat dirt and everything. It's like I think we're done with that. I think we're done with Negan wanting to like get out of his life. I think he's more in the zone of, yes, I've done a lot of bad shit, and now I'm going to. My challenge now is to get on everyone's good graces. I feel like that's what that smirk is from my perspective.
Yeah, I kind of see like a renewal for him, like getting back to what he was before, like going through all these flashbacks in his mind or whatever I guess he was, and throwing the bat on the fire is kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like he's starting a new thing. You know what I mean? Like he's starting a new chapter. He's kind of leaving that Negan behind. I don't know. I guess we'll see. Proof's in the pudding, right?
If he if he's leaving a part of himself behind and doing something different, I guarantee he'll refer to himself as Negan 2.0.
There you go.
Like he'll say, we wanted to say it. He'll establish his name.
Agreed.
Yeah. And I like that we never got more. Like his name is Negan, right? Like we still don't know. Is that first name, last name, like middle name, nickname?
I went like Wikipedia's like, wait, do we have a whole name on this guy?
Yeah. Because even his wife called him Negan. Like, and again, maybe that's just because that's the story he told, right? Like, I mean,
that's true. Yeah, it's his voice. So
it's told from his perspective. Anyway, I thought that was interesting.
his middle name, his name's like Bartholomew.
Yeah.
Jonathan Edward Negan, you can tap for that right now.
Yeah, one day we'll find out he passed through a random town and something happened to him and it just said Negan, and the next place he went, somebody asked him what his name was.
And he looks at his leg, knee, minus Susan Gaines. Negan. That's my name.
Sure. Seems legit.
All right, so that's the episode. So what did we all think of Here's Negan? Jim, what do you think? How many busters did you give Here's
I
Negan?
give this one a solid 4 busters. I liked it a lot. Jeffrey Dean Morgan's probably one of my favorite actors on the show, and I enjoyed this episode. I didn't get a little bit for all the flashbacks. I was kind of getting a little bit of a kink in my neck from all the flashbacks and everything. But other than that, it was a totally solid episode. It's probably my favorite episode of the 6 episode bit here. I mean, considering last week, it's not saying a lot, I guess, but but yeah, I give it a solid 4 this week for sure.
Daryl, how many busters did you give it?
It was good. I mean, I expected it to be good because it's focusing on him and he's a good actor and he's a good character. I give it 4.5. It was good. It was really good. I mean, I found myself enjoying it. I felt sorry for the little evil bastard.
Aaron?
I'm with Jim. I'm at a 4 busters. I think the episode is a strong one for Jeffrey Dean Morgan as an actor and as doing what he can to make Negan continue to be one of the standout characters, which is something I would not have expected a few years ago. So like good on that. I do think the narrative structure, while I guess necessary given what they're trying to do with it, was not so much jarring, but just more it held me back from taking things more seriously or holding on to the tone I think they're trying to go for. But outside of that, there's still a lot of good bits and what have you. So no, it's a strong episode. I tie this with the one more, the Aaron and Gabriel episode as far as my favorites. And this one was pretty solid too. So I think those three held it together the best in the scheme of this bonus set of episodes.
For sure. Yeah, I'm on board with the 4 as well. I really did dig this episode. And I think they were able to use this flashback trope in a way that didn't make me just like lose my mind. Not from complexity, just from the fact that I'm not a fan of that style of storytelling.
It was cool. I mean, it was cool for me after. I mean, last week was like a big disappointment for a lot of people. I mean, our listeners as well. And to have them come back this strong this week was really good. I just really felt better about the show overall after seeing this one. I was like, okay, it seems a little more back on track now for me. So.
Yeah. The one thing that I'm finding that this episode helps me find more interesting with Negan and makes me feel very torn is this concept of forgiveness, right? Like knowing that the people that he killed, the way he killed them, as close as they were, killing Glenn, the way he did, and then killing Cudlitz, killing
Abraham,
killing Abraham like he did in front of everybody so brutally like that, and just the way he treated his own people, it's such a contrast to the way he is now, and kind of understanding how somebody could come around and justify it in their own, like it's just fascinating to me that I find myself like struggling with whether or not somebody can truly be redeemed that's done these things is I think a testament to what he's done with that character, because it's such a contrast to what they did with the governor, right? Like especially we got an origin scene for Negan, we did get one for the governor, and I think that those episodes were probably some of the most hated episodes I think we had on this show. So
I was going to say,
yes.
I think especially among people I know who read the comics and then saw the show. I mean, I don't mean to talk about this. This is so much water under the bridge, but I feel like a lot of people thought that the portrayal of the governor was lacking. I mean, that's just my opinion.
It was a mixed. It was a mixed bag of a thing, and it's like David Morrissey tried his best, but
do what he could. Yeah.
I think it was bad casting. Honestly, I don't.
Yeah.
Or like if regardless of how into it he was, the writing never supported what he was trying to do with it,
Right.
and that's beyond what we think of the comic versus the governor. It just didn't fit what they're trying to do with that shit. It was a rocky road when we got the governor.
Agreed.
The prisoner side of things were good. Like we enjoyed the prison stuff, but with the governor in his place, that stuff never just settled right. And I mean, the show's gotten better. The show's always been like a roller coaster, right? I mean, it's always had ups and downs.
Yeah.
So we've had better villains. So we all really like the Alpha stuff. We were all on board with that quite a bit. Just even this Negan stuff, we were not entirely on board with, and now he's better. So I mean, it goes up and down. But yeah, you have
Definitely
Jeffrey
been a
Morgan.
mixed bag over the years for sure.
For sure. I mean, like Jeffrey Dean Morgan, he's very much embodying, regardless of how much I like Negan. I like him more both in this stage and in the comic. I like him more in his later stages than his initial stages. But I think he's embodying what you need from this character better than what Morrissey was embodying from the governor, as far as that goes. So that's paying off well. And I think fans enjoy Negan more in general too. So I think there's more effort put into how to make this character come to life, right? Like it feels very much in line with what the book showed you. Versus
I do think Jeffrey Dean's Negan is much like more in line with the book's Negan than Morrissey's governor was in line with the book's governor.
For sure.
Absolutely. I mean, if you
for sure.
and I said it back when we covered it back in the day. If they just spent the money to get Danny Trejo, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
And Russ, your thought on where he's come and where he is now? Like, I mean, I take it with a bit of a grain of salt because it's writing more than anything, where they have to flex the character to be what they need to be at a given moment. And it's not too loose. Like he's consistent enough. But I mean, we've complained about this too. Like he was gonna kill Carl. Like he was gonna bat him on the head.
Yes.
Snyder stopped him. And then later on, he's like, I never hurt kids. I'm like, okay, like the show wants to play a little fast and loose with the facts here. But we know what we saw on the show. So I mean, yeah, is it cool that he's having this kind of redemption arc now? Yes. Am I concerning myself too much with his past? I'm trying not to focus on it too much. I'm not exactly calling it Earth 2, but at the same time, it's like I gotta dismiss a few things if you really want to deal with the things that he's done in his past versus what he is now.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it always comes back to. But I guess my point is, it's such a contrast that you're even entertaining those thoughts, whereas and that we're not completely one bustering or gagging ourselves over this quote origin episode of Negan. So whereas like I said, just a contrast to what we've seen in the past. So interesting stuff. So anyway, yeah,
you can't say he doesn't provoke good discussion. I'll put that up there.
True.
So it makes the episode more interesting to talk about.
Yes. All right. Well, that's what we thought. So what did the Facebook group
Oh, who
have to
cares?
say?
Oh, no.
Facebook.com.
Yeah, that's who cares. And every week we ask you to join in and give us your Buster ratings and what you thought of this week's episode. After last week's episode, of course, we are lucky to get, I guess, whatever we got. So, but we had some good responses this week. Starting with David Do the Third. I'm seeing red. Red 5s, 5 Lucille's. One of the best episodes of both season 10s. Seeing this backstory was something that made my day. It made the whole family's day, in fact. Truly felt bad for the whole circumstance with the human Lucille. Then just as bad at first thinking those guys killed the doctors. But all that went away with the wooden Lucille and the man with the steel backbone. Great ending. Happy the next season returns on my birthday, August 22nd. We don't have to wait for October. All right. Tammy Lynn, in my opinion, this was the best episode of season 10. 5 Busters. Mike Jones wrote in. 5 Lucille's out of 5. Easily one of the best episodes of the series for me. I had huge expectations for this, and they were all met. It was cool to see Laura from the Saviors again. The end has me confused but excited. That look he gave Maggie was classic Negan, but what did it mean? Give Negan a spin-off. And finally, Richard Sherrington from across the pond. 5 barbed wire born baseball bats out of 5. After 5 really lackluster episodes, they definitely saved the best for last. This has got to be one of, if not my favorite all-time episode of the whole 10 series. This was the episode we all wanted, the Negan Lucille backstory. Really, really enjoyed the episode from start to finish. And if you guys would like to be part of the show and have your reviews read on the show by my dulcet tones, then by all means join that Facebook group and slap your opinions right there into the comment box, and I will gladly read them on our next episode of the podcast. Oh, and also, an ancillary thought, if you join that Facebook group, you also get weekly links to Aaron Newert's write-up on every episode of The Walking Dead, as well as other stuff. I think you put up your write-up of Invincible there too, didn't you, Aaron?
Yeah, I figured it's Robert Kirkman, so I think it's pretty adjacent, and why not share my thoughts on Invincible?
Cool. And that's what our Facebook group's on, Russ.
Awesome. So that about does it for this episode, but you can find more of us on the internet. Mr. Taylor, where can folks find you?
Well, you can find me and Russ on the Batman podcast, Gotham by Geeks. You can also hear In the Dog, and you can also hear me and Jim on the TV and movie podcast, Nothing's On. So it's all there to the network.
Listen for the dog.
Yes. Yes. Aaron, where can
I
folks
am
find you?
in plenty of places. You can find me co-hosting my podcast Out and Out There and Abe. My friend Abe and I discuss weekly movie releases and the occasional commentary track. We just did our Godzilla vs. Kong episode. I'm a massive Godzilla fan, so I was very excited to do more things about Godzilla. You can also find me writing my reviews, as Jim mentioned, on Wheel Entertainment. That's where you can find my Walking Dead and Invincible reviews, as well as my movie reviews for the week. I'm on Wise of Blue reviewing Blu-rays over there, and I'm on Twitter at AaronsPS4.
Well, by the way, Aaron, didn't you just do also a Godzilla thing with Brandon Peters on the Brandon Peters show?
Yes, the Brandon Peters show, the sister podcast, some would say, out there, given the crossover that we have for our commentary tracks. What have you? Yes, I talked about Shin Godzilla, one of the best Godzilla films so far on the show. So check that out if you want to hear that as well.
First of all, I would like to shout out that it is Roger Corman's 95th birthday.
Hey, how about that?
So happy birthday, Roger Corman, man of a million movies. If you don't know who he is, look it up. Educate yourself, you bastards. Catch me on Nothing's On every week with Daryl and Donnie, where we go our knuckleheaded way about the week's TV and movie news. You can catch me on the Players Club there as well on the TaylorNetworkPodcast.com. And as I mentioned last week, I've had a few people message me about it. The name of the group, I wanted to mention this one more time because it's a really cool charity and a really good thing. Zombie Adjacent. The George A. Romero Foundation here in Pittsburgh is hosting a series of celebrations for the 40th anniversary of George A. Romero's Night Riders, culminating with a big deal viewing on April 24th with Ed Harris and Donald Rosenblum, who did the soundtrack for Night Riders, commenting on the movie as it's going. It's totally free to watch on Facebook, but they do take donations, and the movies and the money goes to benefit independent filmmakers here in Pennsylvania. So it's a good cause, and it's a very cool movie, and I can't wait to hear what Ed Harris has to say about this movie, because it's a weird movie. But him and Tom Savini and Rosenthal are going to be talking about it. So April 24th, check that out. It's a great cause. And again, if you don't, check it out for free. Why not? It's awesome.
Throw a link up there on the Facebook page, too.
Oh, I will. I should. You're right. I will do that. Yeah, I will.
Russ, how about you?
You can stay tuned here, hhwld.com, for this very podcast and various other special things that pop up from time to time, as well as, like Mr. Taylor mentioned, over at Batman Centric Podcast, Gotham by Geeks. But yeah, that's pretty much where you can find me these days on the internet. So appreciate everyone for listening. Thank you very much. We will be back next week to talk more Walking Dead. This time we fear the Walking Dead as we pick up with the rest of that season next week. Yes, the Strand Show. Yes. So until there's no more room in hell in the dead walk the earth, remember, you are so beautiful.
Thanks, Russ.
Can't you see?
I'm very uncomfortable with you saying that, but thanks.
I can stand to hear it more.
Yeah, I think we all did.
From Russ.
It sounds
Good night.